Good afternoon. Welcome to the Celtic Way. It's game day. It's the top two. It's Celtic versus Aberdeen. Line-up reaction. Rodgers makes some big calls as both Hatate and Trusty was unplugged. There we are.
I can hardly hear you, Tony. The mutes went on. A couple of times. I don't know if it's your headphones. If you want, while you sort that out, I can read out the team. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Celtic Way. My name is Ryan McGinley. That's Tony Haggerty. He's dealing with his audio there. We are live. I'm outside, just outside Celtic Park, 10-15 minutes away. The team is out. The team it's a top of the table clash between Celtic and Aberdeen. Kasper Schmeichel starts and goals. A back four of Alex Bailly, Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers is not on the bench, and Alistair Johnson. The midfield three of Rio Hatate, Callum McGregor and Arne Engels, and a front three of Daizen Maeda on the left, Nicholas Kuhn on the right, and Kyogo Furuhashi up front. On the subs bench today, you've got Viljami Sinisalo, Luis Palma, Adam Ida, Yang Hoon Jun, Luke McCowan, Paulo Bernardo, James Forrest, Anthony Ralston, and Stephen Welsh. Tony, I'll give the reins back to you. Or no, I won't. I want to talk because he's went off. So that's the team today, Tony. What's your thoughts on the team? If you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Having a shocker here.
Right, just take your headphones out and speak through the computer. So yeah, I'll just go through the team again if you haven't seen it already. So it's Kasper Schmeichel in goals, Alex Bailly, Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, and Alistair Johnson. Rio Hatate, Cal McGregor, and Arne Engels, and Daizen Maeda, Kyogo, and Nicholas Kuhn leading the line. I'll just read out some of the comments since Tony is just getting his audio sorted. Joseph Sabatelli says, no CCV, not even on the bench. No, there was talk about he was going to be touch and go for this game, but he hasn't made the bench or the starting lineup for this. Hopefully resting him for Wednesday against Atalanta, make sure that he's 100% fit. Tony, I think we've got you back. How are you doing?
Well, hopefully you've got me back. Don't know what's happening there. Technology, you're at the mercy of it. It's always good when it works. When it doesn't, yeah, I guess you were killing time till I got back, Ryan. Obviously, yes, indeed.
I read the team out twice, Tony, just in case nobody heard it the first time.
Two big calls, Ryan, in that team, as we just said. Hatate and Trusty being... Now, Rodgers said yesterday when he addressed the media that Trusty was just arrived back in the country and he'd one training session. So that's a major call. But I'd been saying all week on the morning briefing that Cameron Carter-Vickers for me had to be 100%. He's clearly not 100%, so you don't risk him. And maybe I'm thinking that Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's got an eye on Wednesday night against Atalanta.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's also a great opportunity for Austin Trusty. He started the past 3-4 games for Celtic, so a bit of continuity there as well. Got to remember, Austin Trusty isn't a player that Celtic have just brought in for $1 million or $2 million. Spent $6 million on him. He's expected to start games. He will be expected to start the majority of games given that price tag. Celtic wouldn't spend that money on a bench player. But I think that's testament to Liam Scales as well. The fact that he's made himself such a first team pick. He's one of the first names on the team sheet for me nowadays, and that's on merit. That's not down to injuries or that. You look at the bench. Mike Nawrowski isn't making the bench again. That's because of Liam Scales and Stephen Welsh. They're simply, at this moment in time, they're better than what Mike Nawrowski is. Maybe the decision's already been made with regard to the defender, which is unfortunate. But Liam Scales is there on merit, and Austin Trusty, I think, out with the first half against Falkirk, and the blanket game against Borussia Dortmund, which was a nightmare for everybody concerned or everybody involved in the game. I think he's been absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, I trust Trusty to slot in there and play his part today. It's a game for cool heads. It's a game for big personalities to come to the fore, and nothing I've seen of Trusty makes me or I have any negative perception of Trusty. Everybody had a nightmare against Dortmund. That's been put to bed. But what we saw before that in the St Johnstone game, he was looking the part, and he's certainly fine. And Dingwall as well. So, and Liam Scales, as we say, he has been terrific since the start of the season. he's been Celtic's best defender, and I don't think anybody would have any qualms in mentioning that and saying that. So I'm happy with it. I'm actually happy. I know he's got his chance because Greg Taylor's injured, but want to see more of Alex Rai. Looking forward to seeing him today and seeing what he brings. Because when he's been galloping forward, he's got forward to real good effect.
Yeah, I would completely.
That assist at Perth was brilliant. 5-a-side stuff. He's been kind of learning off Greg Taylor, hasn't he? That kind of inverted role. He likes to get forward and get in those areas and play those passes. It was his headed knockdown for Bernardo's strike against Falkirk as well, which was absolute class. So looking forward to see what Vi brings to the table today.
Yes, me too. I think he's deserving of his opportunity. I think it helps that Greg Taylor's injured. Unfortunately for him, he is the club's best left back still at this moment in time, I would say. But it's all about giving him an opportunity, giving Alex Bai a chance in the starting lineup. A big pitch at Celtic Park. I thought he did really well on the tight pitch at Ross County when he was playing. And there's a couple of really nice moments in the second half where he got a wee header and then turned the corner. And I like that athleticism. He's a La Masia graduate. He'll have some quality about him. He'll be good on the ball. He's shown that on a couple of occasions. I thought he looked okay against Sligo Rovers as well, apart from that one opportunity where he let his man go. That's just concentration levels, and he'll need to focus on his defending just as much as he's attacking today. It's a big game, Tony. It's a big game for Vi to be involved in as well. You know, arguably one of the biggest in terms of magnitude of his young career so far. That's what I would say anyway, apart from maybe the Dortmund game, but the result was already over by the time he came on the park for Greg Taylor. This is probably the biggest game of his career today. I don't think it's understating that. I don't think it's over-egging it, because it's a massive game. It's top of the table between two informed sides in Scotland at the moment. Jimmy Tulane has said that his team won't be sitting back. They'll be attacking today. I think that makes for a fantastic occasion and hopefully a fantastic game of football between two good sides.
Yep. And moving into the midfield, Hatate, the big call there, have to big up Hamish. He said in the morning briefing that Hatate all day for him. So well done to Hamish for getting that right. You and I both went for Bernardo, and I was also making a case for McCowan as well, saying he would be very unlucky not to start. The manager's opted for Hatate. He's got to produce today. Actually, Rio Hatate, and I think Engels as well has to show something today. He's come in and he started very brightly, but his last couple of performances, Dortmund and Dingwall, weren't at the level that we expected from an £11 million player. That's not criticism, that's observation before everybody starts to say anything and say, oh, get off his back. I'm just observing the fact that everybody was below par against Dortmund, but I thought that hangover extended to Engels more than anybody. And Dingwall, I expected a lot more from him. So I think it's a huge game for Engels today. And Hatate, we're hoping that Hatate can reproduce some of the form that has made him still a favourite amongst the fans, Ryan.
He certainly is, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that midfield three in action. In terms of overall quality, I think those are the three most talented midfielders that Celtic have got at their disposal in terms of creativeness. Engels can do the defensive work as well. I know Hatate likes to endeavour forward and put in a tackle. I don't think he's the best tackler in the world. That's not his game. I think in terms of the creativity, it's not about putting Aberdeen's fire out. It's about fighting fire with Celtic, and I think their best form of defence is attack today. Yes, I want them to keep it resolute at the back, but I think that midfield tells me that Celtic are also going to have a real go at it, being at home, being the dominant side, being the majority, the vast majority of people's favourites for the title this season, as they should be with the wage bill that they've got and the transfers that they've made. That midfield tells me that they're going to go for it and they're not going to sit back, and they shouldn't sit back. A Brendan Rodgers team will very rarely sit back, and that is definitely not going to be the case today. I'm looking forward to seeing how Engels does. I think that 2-game spell against Dortmund and Ross County respectively, two really poor performances from Engels. I actually thought he was quite quiet against St Johnstone the previous week as well. But he's a young player. People need to realise he's only 21 years old. There's a big spotlight on him for the first time in his career. He's playing for Belgium. He's getting games for Belgium as well. He's playing in a starring role for Celtic. That pressure will be new to him. But I think today is the day that he can really re-announce himself as Scotland's premier player, because the way he was playing against Hearts and Rangers respectively, you're already saying this guy's the best midfielder in Scotland almost by default, by the way he was playing. yes, his star's fallen a tiny bit with the past two performances, but that's not to say he won't have a man of the match performance today. I'm actually backing him to have a real stormer against Aberdeen this afternoon.
Yeah, and that midfield to me echoes creativity there. That's why That's what the manager is going for, creative players and to carve out goal scoring opportunities for the front three as well, or even create goal scoring opportunities himself. We know Hatate can dig the ball from distance, so can Engels, so can McGregor. So I think we'll say they're going to adopt a shoot on sight policy, but I think if those guys get within range, they're fancying it today. They're having it, shots from distance, and they're very good at it. So yeah, but I still think Engels has to step up to the plate more than he has in the last couple of appearances. Not saying he's got anything to prove. He has got quality. You remember me saying when people were starting the best player in the country talk very early, I said to temper that. So I still want a greater sample size, but we know the undoubted quality's there, and Celtic have shelled out the big fee. But because they shell out a big fee doesn't mean that the quality follows. But we know this guy's got quality. But yeah, that midfield to me says that Celtic are going to attack Aberdeen as well. And if Aberdeen attack Celtic, which Jimmy Tilleen says they will, then I think he'd be in for a right cracker. But that midfield triumvirate there is where the game's going to be won and lost. I just think we want a wee bit more from Engels than we've seen the past couple of games. We know what Hatate can bring, and we just trust McGregor implicitly, don't we? So that's that in a nutshell. But and the front three at this moment in time picks itself, Ryan. There's
really does.
There's industry, there's goals, and there's Kuhn, who's on a different level at the minute from a lot of his peers.
Yeah, I was speaking to Marvin Collinsworth during the week about Nicholas Kuhn. They actually worked alongside each other at Leipzig. One was there with the coach and one was a player coming through at Leipzig, and he's got pretty high hopes and he's delighted that he's making his way, he's making his breakthrough into European football now with Celtic. So that's definitely something to look out for in the coming weeks and months. Both Maeda, you've got the Celtic's joint top goal scorers are both on the wing this afternoon, and Daizen Maeda and Nicholas Kuhn, they've both got 6 goals respectively. Kyogo's got 4, so that's 6, 12, 16 goals between the three of them so far this season. That's not even counting the assists that each of them get. Nicholas Kuhn is just an absolute monster when it comes to assisting too. He's always involved. Whenever Celtic score, it seems to be either a goal by Kuhn or an assist by Kuhn. You're starting to see why Celtic shelled out the 3 million, and also why 3 million probably, given the circumstances as well, where he was playing, what he had going on, probably a bit of a bargain now when you look at the overall output that Nicholas Kuhn has got in this team. He's their main player in terms of a goal threat. Yes, Kyogo will be that man that in the big moments he'll score those vital goals. Daizen Maeda, you know what he gives, that's a prerequisite. Nicholas Kuhn is just constant. Whoever he's playing against, whether it's in Europe or domestically, he gets goals, he gets assists, and yeah, he's the star man at the moment.
2 words to that, Ryan: due diligence. Clearly, the manager identified there was a player there. That was his choice.
Yep.
So you have to big up the manager for that. He now has the football doctor alongside him, and he spoke at length about Tisdale yesterday and what he would bring. And I think that allows Brendan to concentrate on the football side, and he trusts Tisdale to concentrate on the recruitment side. But he's also spent time in management. He made a point of mentioning that too. So I think he was basically saying, this guy, like me, knows a player when he sees one, Ryan. And I think Brendan can take the flowers, as you say, for identifying Kuhn and bringing Kuhn in, because Rodgers made a point of saying this was a player that he wanted. And I spoke to the Rapid Vienna's CEO, Stefan Hoffmann, and he said that he had been a big thing in Germany when he started out. Wunderkind, as he was called at the time, and then kind of lost his way a wee bit, but he's now getting back to those levels. And Hoffmann's convinced he will play for Germany, Ryan, in the future. Marvin Comper is also saying similar things, that this guy's trajectory is on the rise. So I think 14 assists already 14 goal contributions, 6 goals, 8 assists before Halloween is incredible stats for a winger, because they thrive on lots of people say that wingers are inconsistent, but you can't use that label on Kuhn this season, can you? He's been very consistent, and his output and his outlay's been magnificent, and I expect more of the same today, Ryan. I expect him either to be on the score sheet or to assist again. I'm that confident in his ability to do that in these kind of games as well.
He scores against Aberdeen. He scored in his last 2 appearances against Aberdeen.
Yeah.
One, his debut goal against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, which was laid off by Adam Ida, which was a terrible game by all accounts. Celtic were just not at the races at all that day. That was a pretty forgettable experience up to Aberdeen for myself. And then the Scottish Cup semi-final, he scored the equaliser. He was the right place at the right time following Kyogo's shot that I think, was it saved or it hit the post, one or the other, but it rebounded out.
Off the keeper, didn't it? And he was on hand to just kind of tap it in an empty net. But he was following up rightly,
Yeah, but he was getting involved even then, even though his dental problems were evident and the fact that his weight issues as a result of that were evident, he still was involved. He was getting the odd goal or an assist there, so there was something to work with. But now he's got the performances and the goals and assists. The games that he hasn't been involved in goals and assists, he's been mightily unlucky. One being the Borussia Dortmund game, which was, as I said at the start of the podcast, that was a blanket game. Everybody wasn't great that night. And the Rangers game, because he got an assist. He gave an assist to Kyogo, and he was so unlucky to be offside. A really tight decision. So he has been involved in most games this season, whether that be a goal or an assist. He deserves these flowers at the moment because he's playing like a player that's 5, 6, 7 times his value at the moment, I would say. I think you're looking at 25, 30 million at the moment. Yeah.
Steady on now.
Well, a German winger who is playing at the top level. He is doing it in the Champions League. He did it against Slovan Bratislava, wanting to do it against Atalanta in midweek, obviously. He's an asset. He's an asset for Celtic now, and he deserves the eyes that will no doubt be looking at him. German wingers get sold for big money. As much as I'm enjoying him at the moment, he's one for the future as well.
Again, we'll let him play his football, Ryan, for
absolutely
concerted period of time, i.e. Matt O'Reilly type 3 years, hopefully, and then see where the chips fall on that one. But I think every Celtic supporter is enjoying watching what Kuhn is producing in the displays he's producing right now. So, yes, indeed, Ryan, it has got a top-of-the-table feel to it. There's a specialness about today's occasion, isn't it? The sun's out. You were saying you were sweltering in the car. You'll take your jacket off prior to coming on air. Not often you say that in October. But just wanted to say thank you to the 545 people that are joining us live before the kickoff. Really appreciate it, guys. And as we always say at the bottom of the strapline, if you want to support us even more, Ryan, you can do that, can't you?
You certainly can. For just £2.99 a month, you can be a YouTube member on the Celtic Way. You'll receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. If you're on desktop, press that join button and become a member and get all those exclusive benefits that I just named off there. So thank you to everybody that's done so far. We really appreciate it. But get involved if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's done that, and thank you to everybody who subscribes to both the YouTube channel and the website as well. We appreciate it, guys. We can't do it without you, and those numbers indicate to us that we're maybe doing something right, Ryan. I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah. Do you know, and we can't continue to do these, whether it's videos, articles, or anything in between. We can't do it without the support of you guys. So we really do appreciate you coming on, even just commenting, watching the video. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're so close to 12,000 subscribers. Get involved. Let us hit that 12 number, please, if possible. Yeah, thank you to everybody that really supports us. We do appreciate it much, greatly. I was going to say muchly. That's not even a word. Greatly. It's a big game, Tony. It's a big game. This is what happens.
Head's gone. Lost it. Yeah, no, we do appreciate it, guys. And thank you. As we say, we like to try and read out your comments as well. But yeah, we're trying to grow the channel as well. And we feel that we've been doing that, and the growth has been steady and rapidly grown. So we're pleased about that, and we're pleased about the input, and we hope that you are too. But yeah, today, Ryan, is just one of those occasions, isn't it? It's been a long time. I wrote about it the other day, talking about Aberdeen of the 80s coming down and regularly beating both Glasgow clubs in their own backyards. It's got a kind of feel about that today, but I countered that by the fact that Brendan's adept in these games. His teams are adept at turning up and winning these games. 17 times they've played Aberdeen. He's won 15, drawn 1, lost 1. And Celtic have won 20 of the last 25 encounters against Aberdeen, unbeaten in the last 9 or 10, I believe. So that's the weight of history that Aberdeen are competing with today, Ryan. And I look at that Celtic team and it says to me that the manager means business and they're going to go pedal to the metal today, I think, especially because they're at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an unchanged team from Aberdeen as well, so it shows they've got continuity in their side. They've came through the international break unscathed. They've had a couple of boys on international duty. Dimitar Mitov, I think, was playing for Bulgaria as well, so that was a good signing from them, from St Johnstone earlier on in the season. I thought he was one of the standout goalkeepers. It's all about Celtic today, really. I think as much as it's great that Aberdeen have come in and they have that unbeaten, that perfect record so far, it's all about Celtic. If Celtic turn up and do the business and play to the way that we know that they can play, there's only going to be one winner today. It's not big-headed, it's just confidence. I've got supreme confidence in this side. They've got goals all over the park. A couple of things need to happen for Aberdeen to get a result today. I think Celtic need to have an off day, and Aberdeen need to have their best day in order for that to happen. But if Celtic play to their strengths and play with their attacking fluidity that we know that they've got at their disposal, then there's only going to be one winner today, Tony. As much as it's close between the two sides, it's about time Celtic put out a bit of a statement today domestically and say, right, keep your distance, Aberdeen, basically.
Yeah. Thank you, Thomas, John, James, Muirhead, Tony, Ryan, the rest of the gang are doing a great job. Appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. Lots of predictions coming in, Ryan, so maybe read a few of them. Celtic 67 saying 2-0. And they're all Celtic. Edward Wyavos, he thinks like myself. 3-1 Celtic he's going for. I saw a 4-0 as well somewhere. Natalie McMullen it was. Hello Natalie, how you doing? My score prediction for the Hoops 4-0. 420 somewhere saying 3-0. You'll never walk alone. 1888 Celtic 3-0. So certainly confidence abounding amongst the Celtic supporters, Ryan. Hazel Finn, regular contributor. How you doing, Hazel? 3-0. She's saying Scott Melville saying 4-1. Celtic 1888, 2-1 Celtic. Craig Rankin 3-0. Kyogo score. Joe Allen, there's always one. 7-1. Take that, Ryan.
We had joy, we had fun, yeah, absolutely. For me personally, I'm going to go for 4-1 Celtic. I think Aberdeen will score. Yeah, 4-1. I think Celtic have got so much firepower all over the park. In the midfield, in the defence from corners. Arnott Engels with those corners especially. You wouldn't put it past Trusty to get off the score sheet for the first time for Celtic this afternoon. He's a big lumpy boy, that's for sure. When he came onto the pitch against Bratislava, that was the first thing I was like, my goodness, he is tall. Get him on headers and you might get some joy. Engels is just a tremendous set piece taker, and you want him to get that whip. You want him to get that whip on the ball like he did against Slovan Bratislava. That's a defender or an attacker in that point, in that moment's dream to attack those headers, such as Scales, Trusty, the other players in the team as well, if they're there or thereabouts. So yeah, 4-1 Celtic. I can see Kuhn scoring. I can't see Kuhn not scoring, to be honest, because he's just been like that all season. But I think Kyogo will get a goal as well.
600 people joining us, Ryan. Brilliant numbers. Thank you very much, guys. Sean Hanlon 4-2, Belly 2-1 Celtic, Bethany Webb saying 2 each. She reckons Aberdeen are here for a reason, and just wanted to flick this up. 420 somewhere gifted 1 Celtic Way membership. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's really, really kind of you to do that. So thanks for that. But yeah, 600 people, Ryan. Excellent stuff. Thanks, guys. We'll be on after the game as well. Win, lose or draw, we're always here. And we'll talk about the action that's about to unfold, Ryan, in around about 40 minutes' time. David Ferguson saying 5-1. My prediction, Ryan, you said 4-1. I always go 1 up or 1 down. I'll go 3-1 Celtic. I think Aberdeen will score as well. Hazel Finn is also saying that she reckons Hatate will get the first goal. Maybe that's just wishful thinking.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, go on.
Tony, when do you think Aberdeen are going to score, just in the makeup of the game and the way the game goes in terms of trajectory? Do you think maybe they could get an early goal and Celtic come back into it?
One or two things happen for me here, Ryan. I think Aberdeen either score first and Celtic pummel them, or it's a late consolation after Celtic pummeled them. So I'm fully expecting the onus on Celtic to go out there and score, but I feel that Aberdeen are playing, decent enough to think that they'll merit a goal at some point in proceedings, but it won't be enough. I think Celtic will certainly overcome them, and I did say in the predicted 11s that Celtic would win by at least 2 clear, so sticking by that 3-1. William O'Toole, 4-1 to the Hoops, he's saying, there you go. And Christopher Patterson saying Celtic need to score first in his opinion. So there you go.
I think that can work in 2 ways. I think sometimes, I'm not saying I would want Aberdeen to score first. I don't want Aberdeen to score at all, preferably. I think it can anger Celtic if Aberdeen were to get an early goal and really kick them into gear, especially if they're not having a good game. In some ways, and this is so weird to say, but in the trajectory of a game, sometimes you're better if the opposition score, because it kicks them into life and kicks them into gear rather than it staying at nothing each, and then you're worried late on in the game that are Aberdeen going to snatch it. If Aberdeen are going to score, you'd preferably want them to score early on so that Celtic have a lot of the game to get back into it. It could go anyway, to be honest, today. But if Celtic play to the way that we know that they can play, the way they've played for the majority of this season, there's only going to be one team that's coming out with 3 points, and that's Celtic.
Yeah, I totally agree. I say I don't want Aberdeen to score, but I just think they might. Helen Feek saying 2-0 Celtic. Helen, the regular contributor in the comment section, so thank you for that. Derek Lowe saying hit the like button, boys. Thank you very much, Derek. Appreciate that too. Appreciate everybody that's in the comments and the chat at the minute. 3-1 the Hoops says Kevin Dunn. So yeah, I mean, lots of people tipping. The Jagged God saying 3-1 with the Don scoring first within the first 20 minutes. I've got a feeling that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Scott Melville saying it feels like a big game, this one. That's because it is a big game, Scott. Top 2 in the country going head to head. You can't beat it. 3 o'clock on a Saturday as well. Traditional throwback. Ryan, excellent stuff. 2-1 Alexander Beagrie. I'm assuming he means Celtic as well. So there you go. But yeah, Celtic supporters are confident, and that's basically why. And Mark Nisbet saying show Aberdeen why they're not challengers. That's the remit for today, isn't it? And Drew here saying 3-2 Celtic. So there you go. And Brown Warrior saying he kept thinking 2-2. He doesn't know if it's a natural worry or a premonition. Brown Warrior, also a regular contributor. Hope you're wrong, Brown Warrior. I have to say that. Hope it's a lot more convincing for Celtic than that. Ryan, any final thoughts before I let you shoot off, and we'll get to the half-hour mark.
These are fixtures to be savoured, really. A Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. They don't really come around too often when Celtic are playing in Europe, especially in the first half of the season. This is the chance to put extra scoreboard pressure on today in 2 ways, because you make a gap between Aberdeen and Celtic if you win the game, but you also make a further gap on Rangers, and it's a difficult game tomorrow for Rangers at Rugby Park against Kilmarnock, a ground that they've had real issues with in recent years. So put that pressure on. We'll see if other teams can respond. But the only way that Celtic can put pressure on is if they continue to win games and keep on doing what they've been doing well all season, which is blowing teams away, to be honest. We'll see if they can do that. Chance to put a real statement out today, and I hope they do that.
Yeah. Robert Davey, 2-1, he's saying Celtic, I'm taking it. He means Raymond Dog saying it ain't going to be easy. Don't think it will. And JJ Celtic, let's see some nice football. What's the saying, Tony? Yeah, rip roaring, free scoring, never boring Glasgow Celtic. That's what you want to see, don't you? And Scott Melville saying today's a throwback to the early 80s when Dons were some side. Hopefully you've read the piece that I wrote the other day about Brendan being the bogeyman, but Sir Alex Ferguson telling his side back in the 80s, in order to challenge for things, you need to go to Glasgow and win. Let's hoping that's not the case today, Ryan, that Aberdeen don't come to Glasgow and win. But, well, something maybe have to give today, Ryan. We're hoping that it's Celtic to establish a comfortable lead, 3-point lead at the top of the table, and as you say, seize that initiative to put that scoreboard pressure on other rivals.
Somebody's O has got to go, as they say in boxing. It's like 2 heavyweights coming up against undefeated. Could be a draw between the 2 sides, and then both O's go, and a draw is put on their record. But something's got to give today. Somebody's 100% record is gone at full time this afternoon. Here's hoping it's not Celtic's.
And Ian Roy saying, love Tony's coined phrase. I've mentioned this before, Ian. It was kind of mine, but it's not. There was a guy called Jim Cullen who was the charge or the manager of the Montrose bar, which was just in Montrose Street, which was near the Daily Record. And every time I went into the bar, he would say something like that. It was words to that effect. But so I kind of thought the rip roaring, free scoring, never boring. He would say it was a phrase that he had because he dug me up recently by saying you got it wrong, but in a kind of way I ended up getting it right because so many people kind of like to kind of rhyme and all it. So
Put your own spin on it, Tony. Put your own spin on it.
Yeah, I put my own spin on it basically. Yeah, but I've always said that it was Jim Cullen. He takes credit as well, and I met him actually recently in a restaurant in Glasgow. And the two were killing myself laughing, and we shared a big hug. He's a fantastic man, huge Celtic supporter. So that's the origins of that. So there you go. But Ryan, I'll let you go and enjoy the game, sir.
Fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah, and whatever you're doing and wherever you're watching it, enjoy. Result dependent. I always say, as Ryan just said there, somebody's always got to go. See who it is come 5 o'clock, round about then. Take care.
Cheers, guys. Thank you, guys. See you after the game.